You hear about it everywhere, right? It feels like it's changing our world at lightning speed. But what is artificial intelligence, really? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down: what it is, how it works, and why it matters so much right now. I mean, we throw around the term AI all the time. It's in our phones, it's in the news, it's everywhere. But what does it actually mean for a machine to be intelligent? That's the huge question we're going to tackle today. All right, so to make sure we're all on the same page, let's just start at the beginning. Let's get a really clear, straightforward definition. What are we actually talking about when we say AI? At its absolute core, it's this. AI is all about making machines that can think and act like humans. It's the whole big science of getting computers to do stuff that would normally take a person's brain power. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Intelligence here isn't just one thing. It's really about these three key abilities. First, there's learning, grabbing new information. Then there's reasoning, using what it knows to make a decision. And maybe the most important one, self-correction, the ability to get better and smarter all on its own. And this isn't some brand new idea. The concept's been kicking around since the 50s. But just look at this timeline. Look at the acceleration. It took decades to master games like chess. Then a machine won Jeopardy. Then it conquered Go, which is way more complex. And then, bam, ChatGPT just changes the game for everyone. The pace right now is just staggering. Okay, so we've got a handle on what AI is. But how in the world does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the key building blocks that make all of this possible. This, right here, is such a great way to think about it. Imagine artificial intelligence as the big overall goal. Machine learning? That's one of the main ways we achieve that goal. And neural networks? That's a super powerful engine we use for machine learning. They all fit inside each other, but they're not the same thing. So with machine learning, the magic is that we aren't giving the computer a giant list of rules. No way. Instead, we just feed it tons and tons of data. Think thousands of cat photos. And eventually, it just figures it out. It starts to recognize the patterns all by itself. It's learning from experience, kind of like we do. And this is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. Neural networks basically try to copy the structure of our own brains. You've got one layer for input, that's the information coming in. You've got these middle layers that do all the heavy-duty thinking. And then you have an output layer that gives you the answer. It's a brain, but made of code. So, now that we have those building blocks, let's look at how we use them to give machines something like our own senses, the ability to understand what we say and to see the world around them. Let's start with the first sense, language. I mean, how do you get a computer to actually get what you're saying or what you've typed? The answer is something called natural language processing, or NLP. This is the tech that gives AI a voice and the ability to understand ours. Seriously, every time you ask Siri for the weather, or use a translation app, or mess around with ChatGPT, you are using NLP. Okay, so we've got hearing and talking covered. But what about sight? How do you give a machine eyes? Well, that's where computer vision comes in. It's the part of AI that teaches computers to make sense of the visual world. This is absolutely essential for stuff like self-driving cars, trying to see pedestrians and stoplights, but it's also a game changer in medicine, helping doctors find diseases in scans way earlier. So we've covered the basics, the definitions, the tech behind it all. Let's zoom out now and see how all this theory is actually showing up in our day-to-day lives. And let me tell you, its impact is just everywhere. This isn't just a thing for Silicon Valley anymore. AI is completely changing how healthcare works, how banks spot fraud, how we get around, and how pretty much everything we buy gets made. It is a massive shift, for sure. Of course, a technology this powerful doesn't just show up without some serious questions. As AI gets woven deeper and deeper into society, we have to start tackling some really big, really complex challenges. And this chart lays out the really big ones. For example, if an AI learns from biased data, its decisions will be biased too. That's a huge problem. These systems also need a ton of data to work, which brings up massive privacy concerns. And, of course, there's the big conversation around jobs and automation. These aren't easy problems, and they're things we're all trying to figure out right now. So, keeping all those challenges in mind, let's turn our eyes to the future. Where is all this technology headed? What's next? Well, in the very near future, you can expect the AI tools we already have, like chatbots, to get way smarter.
But the long-term vision, the big dream for a lot of researchers, is something called artificial general intelligence, or AGI. That's an AI that can think, learn, and reason about anything, just like a person can. And if that happens, well, that changes everything.
And if you want to watch the cutting edge, keep your eyes on these trends. Multimodal AI will let us talk to computers using images, sounds, and text all at once. And edge AI means more processing will happen right on your phone, making things faster and more private. These are the things that are building that future right now.
So, here's the real takeaway. Artificial intelligence isn't science fiction anymore. It's here. It's a powerful tool that we are building and using today. So the real question isn't if it's going to change the world. The real question is, how are we going to shape that future?